Hello everyone and welcome to On Air Talks by wTVision. My name is Alex Fraser and I'm wTVision's CTO, and I'm thrilled to kick off this 3-day online event directly from our production studio in Lisbon. The broadcasting industry is an ever-changing world with new challenges and better, faster means of production coming up every year. To explore the latest technological advances and some of the more interesting projects all over the world, we invite you to be with us over the next 3 days. Each day will be dedicated to a different broadcasting theme, starting today with sports broadcasting. Tomorrow, you may join us for our sessions about PCR solutions and live production. The last day of the event will be dedicated to channel playout and MCR solutions. Our experts will share their take on subjects like augmented reality and immersive virtual graphics, IP virtualization, data gathering and integration, PCR automation, and how to build a TV scratch from the ground up. Joining the wTVision team will be industry experts sharing their views on the future and what their best bets are in the coming years. Product demos are also a must-see of this event, as we will be sharing how our biggest solutions for playout automation, CG systems, real-time graphics and data, augmented reality software works. If you still haven't checked out our schedule, you can access our website at wtvision.com/onairtalks and see what's on the agenda. You still have time to book your next seat for the next 2 days and guarantee access to exclusive content. Today we will focus on sports production, and you will discover how to cut your losses during a sports season with empty stadiums, how to integrate augmented reality into football broadcasts, and how to generate graphics with a single operator solution. You will also understand the importance of statistics in the sports industry and how viewers are impacted by interactive tools. So, let's get started with our first session. As we all know, when the 2019-2020 football season was halted across Europe as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the only way football was able to return was without fans in the stadiums. This presented a problem for football federations, leagues, and broadcasters around the world, as it affected not only the emotional side of football, but also the capacity of generating income. So, how did some of the leagues deal with and are still dealing with this unprecedented situation? And how augmented reality can work as a solution? Joining us today to share their experience on this matter and give us some answers are Paulo Ferreira, our Global Sales Director, Willem van Brooklyn, are responsible for La Liga's virtualization project, and also Jorge Kozowski, our country manager from Bolivia, who helped implement a complete virtual stadium solution for the Canadian Premier League. During this session, type your questions on the comments box and we'll try to answer them at the end of each session. Let's get started.
Hi everybody, welcome to On Air Talks by wTVision. Today's session is going to be about how to deal with empty stadiums and how to capitalize your losses. With me today, I have two colleagues, Willem from Spain, the country manager of the Spanish office, and Jorge from our America sales team. Augmented reality graphics are gaining a really big importance in the sports world, particularly in football. Not only the broadcasters are looking for new ways of entertaining the viewers, but also new potential ways of generating revenues and new ways also to show interesting data to the viewers. Particularly with COVID-19, we had an unprecedented situation of having empty stadiums. And it was a big challenge, not only for the broadcasters, but also to the clubs, how to use an empty stadium and how to entertain people at home with an empty stadium, without the noise of the public, without the color of the flags, without the color of the shirts. So augmented reality came and tried to fix some of these problems with several options. The first of all, creating virtual crowds, creating virtual public in the stadium, giving cover to the stadium and giving a better experience on the broadcast and on the viewer, and also to generate a new ways of revenue, because now it's possible to cover all the stadium with brands, with sponsors that previously was not possible because we have people there. So augmented reality connected to virtual graphics in this particular moment in the world is key to not only to save the entertainment, but also to save the business of the clubs, the broadcasters, and the sponsors. Well, now let's put a word in our colleagues. And first, I would like to address to you, George. And you had a recent project with CPL, Canadian Premier League. And I would like to ask you, what were the challenges that the customer asked you? What was the need, and how did you reply to it?
Well, the first need that we had with the CPL project was that they played this season in the University Prince Edward Island Stadium, which is not a stadium environment for broadcast. It's not a complete stadium. So they challenged us to come up with an innovative, creative way to deliver a professional caliber experience for the fans, the supporter, partners, and also a fun way for the fans to participate and engage throughout the broadcast. We started talking about virtual crowds, and that very quickly moved on to virtual advertising inside the stadium. The CPL League did a great job with the marketing, and they were able to sell sponsorships all throughout the stadiums. We had to develop a complete virtual solution to simulate the stadium during the live broadcast. We were using AR3, wTVision's solution for augmented reality, and it proved to be a very, very successful production for CPL.
So what started to be a project that the main goal was to fill the empty stadiums becomes suddenly not only an entertainment experience, but also a business experience and a new way of generating revenues for the final customer. Is that so?
Yes, exactly that. We began talking about filling a stadium, creating a stadium to have fans. And then we started moving on to sponsorship and new revenue sources. And that's something that has been an ongoing talk, because since we are expecting next season to have fans in the stadiums, now we're using this same technology to bring new forms of advertising to stadiums, new forms of revenue to the production.
Okay, excellent. What about you, Willem? You work with probably one of the biggest, the first or the second biggest league in the world, La Liga, that arrives to hundreds of countries. And what was the motivation of La Liga to find a virtual solution for the broadcast?
Okay, well, actually, wTVision in Spain works closely with MediaPro, the production company for La Liga. And in April, we knew that La Liga would start again in June with their competition. And what happened is that they were not allowed to have public in the stadium. So we started to look for solutions, and we came actually up with the solution for a virtual crowd based on WizRT software, as we are working with WizRT for a long time in Spain now. And this virtual crowd solution, we first tested it, of course. You have some restrictions. You want to see the ball still. We had to do everything in a remote production environment. We had to do 42 stadiums, because they not only wanted to do this with the top matches, they wanted to do this with all kind of matches. And actually quite close to the competition 2 weeks before, they really decided, okay, this is the solution we want. Because what happens is that by really providing and testing and showing what it is doing, they noticed that by creating a virtual crowd, the spectator at home, the viewers at home, are really watching the game, and they are not noticing that the stadium is completely empty. And that was actually their motive to go into this. And of course, like George says, later on you can talk about advertising, sponsor, enhancement of graphics on the pitch, but this was actually their first motive, is really to get the viewers' eyeballs on the competition itself and not feeling that the stadium is empty. That's the thing.
Is the customer happy?
Yeah, they're very happy.
Good.
They're very
Good to
happy.
hear that.
They even got nominated with this project for the Innovative Award in Sportel. And they got a lot of exposure, a lot of publicity around this solution. Actually, it was the first league, and it was also the first league we really jumped into this and had the courage
The risk and the courage.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
I mean, when you first start, you can also expect a lot of criticism of professional journalists, if they like it or not like it. And actually, especially when you look to the English reporters, they were very happy with this solution.
Great. Congratulations. Well, George, you were talking about both of you implemented in 2 different regions, more or less the same solution with 2 different kind of technologies.
Yes.
You mentioned, George, that you use it AR-free, which is wTVision's technology. So can you briefly explain how it works, how the workflow works, and what is the role of wTVision and our software in this project?
Well, AR3 is a software that does augmented reality based on video analysis. What it actually does is it tracks the white lines in the field. All football or soccer fields are exactly the same. Okay, the stadium may be different. You have the seats, stairs, access, exits, things like that. But the football field is exactly the same. You have a line in the middle, the circle in the middle, the area, the small area they're all exactly the same. So what we do is we track those white lines, and AR3 is able to automatically calculate the height of the camera, the direction that the camera is looking at, and we are able to bring this augmented reality remotely without the need of extra hardware in the production. So it's very clever the way that AR3 manages this, since it's only video analysis. It really helps us to centralize and the graphics, do it remotely, saving costs on travels, and also the restrictions on travels because of the COVID situation. So we are able to save a lot of money for the production by doing this remotely.
Okay, so basically you don't have to install nothing on the camera, and you can use up to 3 cameras at this point, right?
Exactly, 3 cameras. We use master camera, the camera 1, which is the wide shot, and the offside cameras. The offside cameras, because AR3, it's a solution. It has a solution to also provide the offside lines and this kind of augmented reality graphics. They look great using offside cameras and the master camera. So we use 3 cameras at the same time.
Thank you, George. Willem, in your case, it's a kind of different than the project in the US or for Canada, because you mentioned that instead of our own technology, we used VisRT, which works basically does the same stuff in a different way with another kind of with a different kind of software. Actually, what was the role of wTVision in this project? So what was our connection between La Liga, Media Pro, VisRT, and wTVision? How was our role, or what was our role in this project?
Well, first of all, we were the one pitching this solution through Media Pro, of course. We started with the idea, and then Media Pro took it up. Then together with Media Pro, we tested the solution, and also, of course, together with Viz. I mean, Viz is one part. I mean, Viz is taking care of the tracking and the engine itself that renders the graphics. But you need our football CG really to launch these graphics and to program everything by which it really runs smoothly. And at the same time, you need designers understanding very well the graphics design tools to make this happen. It's all 3D modeling. You do this outside, but then you have to tweak it inside the Viz solution. So that's the part of the technology, and of course we had to take care of the project management, the installation of the solution, and operate. You have to imagine that when we started in mid-June, we had every day more or less 6 or 7 matches, 7 days a week. And actually, we didn't have any match that didn't go without the virtual crowd.
Great. So it was a successful partnership.
It was, yeah.
Great. George, after the success of CPL, there are other customers looking for our solution, and now we don't have only one customer, but several ones in your region. Can you briefly tell us a little bit other experience that we are doing with AR3?
Yes. After the success that we had with the Canadian Premier League, we started having a lot of discussions with various football leagues in South America, North America. The main one would have to be La Liga Argentina, the Argentinian league, the first division. It's the most important league in Americas, and we are expecting the return of the matches for the first days of November. We are going to use virtual crowds using AR3 and wTVision's R3 render engine. Also, with the World Cup qualifiers that have been going on, we are doing productions for Bolivia, for Peru. The Peruvian broadcaster, it's doing all of their production centralized from Chile, and we have several other discussions going on about other regions, other countries in the region. But this would have to be the main ones. The World Cup qualifiers, the Liga Argentina would have to be the main.
Well, big challenges. Good luck to it. I would like to thank you, both of you, your participation. Wish you the best of luck with your projects, and hopefully that you get some more for us. Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
AR3 is a software developed by wTVision, which is intuitive and accurate and allows to generate augmented reality and virtual graphics. With that software connected with the production cameras, you can have augmented reality graphics, you can have virtual crowds, you can have advertisement, you can have tied to the field graphics, you can have cam carpet and other kind of graphics in the way that become to show information, to entertain the viewers at home, and to generate advertisement. I invite you to later on to see a demo of this product, this wTVision product, AR-free. Please don't miss it. It's interesting and it's going to entertain you and it's going to inform you about everything that can be done in a simple and intuitive way. Have a nice day.
Well, thank you, Paulo, Willem, and George. And since we're talking about augmented reality for football matches, let's go straight to a demo of our AR3 football product. As you will see, AR Football enhances football broadcasts by adding augmented reality into live football matches and creating a more appealing and entertaining experience for fans and viewers at home. Take a listen.
Hello everyone, welcome to our AR3 football demonstration. We hope you enjoy learning all the features of this simple, intuitive, turnkey solution that adds augmented reality graphics to a football match in a matter of minutes. With AR3 Football, you can add augmented reality into live football matches and create a more appealing and entertaining experience for fans. Let's begin by introducing you to this system. On my left, you can see that I have two virtual screens. The first virtual screen will show the interface of AR3 Football. The further away screen will show the output that will be your program signal that will be mixed in the mixing table. So right now, we are seeing the main interface of AR3. You can see that we have currently 3 cameras on the left side, and all of them are being tracked. AR3 works with up to 3 cameras, okay? And we have an embedded system for calibration. And this calibration will automatically calibrate both the position and the lens distortion parameters for you. We also have a chroma keyer, which will make that your graphics don't be drawn above the players, but above the green, the grass, and under them. We also support integration with other rendering engines, so you can have AR3 Football exporting the tracking parameters to an outside engine and then use that external rendering engine to show all your complex 3D graphics the way you want to design them. The first piece of the application that I'm going to show you is the calibration. For the calibration, we come to the lower left side of the interface and press camera calibration. You can see at the top that for each one of the 3 cameras, we have a set of poses in which you have to take the poses beforehand, before the match starts. So the first camera, that's the left offside camera, has these ones on top. You have the master, and then the right offside line has the inverted poses of the left one. You can see that in the left one, we already have all the pictures taken beforehand, and in the master, the same thing. The only difference right now is that the left master is already correctly calibrated, and you can see this by the red lines being drawn above the white lines in the green field, while the master camera still doesn't have that calibration done. And now this is what I'm going to show you, how to calibrate a camera in AR3. You can see that in the master camera, we already have all the snapshots taken. So the first step will be to try to automatically find the calibration parameters for each one of these images. For that, you come here and press Detect Field Lines. It takes a couple of seconds, as you can see, and it already correctly identified all the lines of the field for most images. And you can see that, unfortunately, the last image is incorrect, but we are able to correctly solve 7 of the 8. So what we can do now is to manually tweak the 8th image in order for it to be correctly calibrated. For that, I'll go to the right upper side of the interface and press Select Field Points manually. Now, what you have to do is to match a bunch of points on the image with a set of points in the lower left map. So I'll start by picking this point. I go to the match and select it there. Now this one, there. Now this one. You need at least 4 points for this to work, but anything from 4 to 6 is ideal for this scenario. And now, if I right-click it and press Detect Field Lines, you will see that we were able to correctly identify the pitch in this image. So right now, the only thing that we need to do is to press Calibrate Camera, sorry, and it will automatically calculate all the parameters in order for you to have the tracking calibrated for all the poses that will appear in the game. You can see that it already ended, so let's just save the cameras. And if I leave the calibration menu and return to live mode, and if I press the Start Tracking button on the master camera, you will now see that we will be able to show the lines of the tracking for this master camera. So right now, you can do any 2D graphics that AR3 supports, and you can do it for any of the 3 cameras. So let me just start by putting the right camera as well with tracking. And now you can see that all the 3 cameras are tracking the exact same video. Okay. The second feature that I'm going to show you right now is the ability to render 2D simple graphics on your pitch. So the first tool of graphics that I'm going to show you is our virtual carpets. With this tool, you can display any 2D images or text. So right now, I've already prepared some logos of our event, but as you can see, something looks a little bit off because the images are being drawn over the players. So we have a really quick fix for this. That's called our chroma key. And for that, you go to the upper right button called Chroma Tool. And the only thing that you need to do is just select an area of green. And as simple as that. Now, the only thing that you need to confirm is to send this chroma to all the cameras. Are you sure? Yes. And now, as you can see, our virtual carpets are being drawn under the players and above the grass. And now, if you want to send this to the output, the only thing that you need to do is to press the play button on the top. And when you do it, you see that the graphics are being displayed on the program output. And now, if I switch between cameras, you can see that it's correctly being tracked in all of them. The second graphics that I'm going to show you is the offside line. To display an offside line, you'll press the first button on the top left of your screen. Then you have the scroll bar on the bottom, where you can move to the point where the offside will happen. And you can see that the pass that causes the offside line happens around here. So now we'll pick the position of the last defender. Okay, confirm our action by selecting the check mark. And now if we switch to our program output, when I press this play button, you'll see that this clip will play around 5 seconds before, and then it will show you the offside. You can see now here is the pass, and there is the line where the defender is. Okay. In case you want to show this offside line later in the game, it's good for you to know that all the events that AR3 is capable of doing automatically save video clips that you can then play further in the game. So you will see that it was saying saving clip around here. And then if I go to the list of clips here on Open Clip Manager, you will see that we have this clip of the offside line that we just did. Okay, and then exactly the same thing, we can select when to start the clip, because here is where the pass happens. We can select the start of it, and then if you check your output, when I press play, it will play again. So you can easily replay any of the events that happen during the game at any stage. The other type of graphics that I'm going to show you is the free kick line. You can see that right now a free kick will happen. It has just been called by the referee. So let's now show you where the arrow of the free kick and the radar is. So for that, we'll select the free kick tool, the second button of the top. And with the mouse, you'll just select the position where the ball is. You can see that right from here, the ball is around 31.2 meters away from the goal. And that radar line is the line where the barrier should be. Here on top, you have several options to send these graphics on air, to show only the arrow, the barrier, or both. So I'm going to show you both. And if you switch to the program, you'll see that it's correctly working for all the cameras. So let's imagine that you don't like the graphics that you are currently seeing on the screen. Fortunately, we have our own scene editor built in with AR3. And with that, you can change all of the appearances of any graphics that we can show to you. Let's see how to do it. In order to edit your graphics, you just have to open the scene editor. For that, you'll click the lower left button on the first menu that opens when you launch AR3. When you click it, then you just have to select from the list which template you want to use and press Load Project. Now, right now, what we can see right here is a simulator of a football pitch. So what this allows us to do is to play any virtual event, to tweak it and see it live changing, so you can then save it and play on a live match. So let's try to change the look and feel of our free kick. So the first thing that I'm going to do is replace the background image where the text is. For that, I just have to select the texture that I want to use. Right now I'm going to use this one. It automatically changed. And now what I have to do is to position the text above the blue background. So right now you can see that it correctly matches the new image that we selected. And if you want, you can also see how it will look if you change this graphic from the left, middle, or right. And right now you can see that on the left, it's hiding a little bit of the image. So what we need to do is on the position left, move it a little bit to the right, so it shows entirely. And right now, it's correctly working for all the three positions. Another thing that we can do is, for instance, change the color of the free kick arrow. And for that, we'll scroll to the free kick, arrow body, and arrowhead, and change its color to black. And it's as easy as this. With just a couple of clicks, you are able to change the entire look and feel of your graphics. So now we just have to save, and let's see how it looks on a live match. Okay, so now we are already inside the game again. So let's see how the new free kick arrow looks. Let's just simulate a free kick. Doesn't need to be a real one. So I'll select the free kick tool, press it, and now you can see that the arrow has changed, as well as the background for the text. So now if I send this event on air, you will see that it correctly plays with the new graphics. Okay, so the last type of graphics that I'm going to show you is the ball speed. So here currently we have a penalty kick that is hopefully going to be scored by Benfica. Let's just wait until it happens. And it's a goal, great. Let's measure how fast the ball went. For that, we'll press the ball speed menu, scroll to the beginning of the kick, around here, around here, and place the mouse there on the first position. Then we switch to the hand position, scroll again until the ball intersects the goal line around here, And we can see that it was a shot at over 100 kilometers per hour. Great. But we can still play it on the program output. So for that, it's similar to the offside line. You can choose what the beginning of the play will be. And then when we are ready, just press the play button. And then in the program output, we can see that when the shot happens, the speed of the goal shows. So over a 100 kilometer per hour goal. That's great. So to finalize my presentation, I'm going to show you how we can integrate the tracking of AR3 with an external engine. In our case, we are going to use our own R3 rendering engine and show you some demos of some former graphics that we used. So welcome to our AR3 designer. In our designer, you can design all kinds of graphics that you want, any type of infographics, 2D overlays, 3D complex animations. So right now, we are going to show you the integration of R3 engine with our own AR3 football. As you can see, we are already receiving the tracking data, and we already have a complex 3D geometry with dynamic content. But if you look closely right now, you can see that the tracking is not well defined. Not the tracking, sorry, the delay. The delay is not correctly defined. So you can see that the virtual graphics is moving a little bit over the top of the screen. But fortunately, and thanks to our strong integration with AR3, it's very easy to fix this delay. You don't need to do it manually. It's just a matter of pressing one button, and it will work like magic. Check this out. You come to the tools and then to tracking console. You can see that we are already receiving data from AR3, okay? And it's just a matter of pressing this button here, resync with AR3. When you press it, now the graphics are glued just like magic, okay? This is everything you need to do to be able to have the data, the tracking data completely synchronized with between AR3 and R3. And this is just a demonstration of 2D to 3D infographics, but we can also show you some more complex 3D animation, for instance, a cup trophy. Check this out. Just like magic, a 3D beautiful cup appears just from the center of the pitch. This is the power of the R3 rendering engine. And this engine, joined with the AR3 football tracking, allows you to create the most beautiful graphics that you want, tracked perfectly. And to finish my presentation, I'm going to show you how you can have virtual crowds on a football stadium. So, as you can see right now, we have a completely empty stadium. So one of the features that we implemented this year is the ability to have virtual crowds. And as you can see, the real stadium with the virtual crowd, and this is what was implemented here in Portugal and was implemented as well in Spain for La Liga. And to finish my presentation, other thing that you can do with the power of AR3 and R3 Designer and Engine is a virtual stadium. This project was implemented for the Canada Football Premiership, and you can see there was no stadium at all. So we have to build a virtual stadium from the ground up, and with, once again, with the tracking abilities of AR3 and with the rendering power of R3 engine, magic happens. So thank you very much for checking my presentation. Hope to see you next time. Thank you.
So I'm here with Pedro Pereira. Nice demo. Thank you for that. And
for having me.
So we also have some questions coming in from the live stream. And Joshua asks, can we use this solution to deploy augmented reality on any kind of sport? Pedro?
Well, great question, Joshua. Well, as the name of the software implies, currently we only support European football, but we are actively working in extending the features of our engine, and we hope that in the near future we'll be able to deliver you some great news about the new sports that we will support.
All right, good. I think European football might be a little bit too short for the worldwide scope of football. I think we know what you mean. Also, another question from Kayo. Do you think this solution will be useful after the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, in my opinion, it's a great question, Caio. In my opinion, I think the software was already very useful before the pandemic because, as you saw in my presentation, you are able to create any kind of 3D graphics, advertisements, infographics, 3D cups appearing from the air. So it's up to you and to your imagination to create any kind of branding and any kind of advertising that you might want to put on the tied to the field graphics, and with that increase your revenue and your viewership.
I think also you mentioned a lot of advertising and branding, but initially the product was mostly a sports-oriented product, so I guess for data regarding the lineups and tactics, stuff like that, also the offside lines as we saw in your demo?
Yeah, that's true. So initially we started being only a free kick and an offside line software, but we quickly integrated that with our own external R3 engine, and we started creating all the infographics with the statistics of the game. And in the next presentation where we'll be talking about SportStats.cg, you will see that the integration will allow you to show any kind of statistics on the field.
Sure.
Through AR.
Also, another question from Mariana. Hi, how long does it take to calibrate the system?
Well, as you saw in my demo, it's actually quite fast. So if you are on a well-lit stadium and if the grass is green and the lines are freshly painted, then most of the poses, of the image poses, will be automatically calibrated. You might need to fine-tune one or another, but I think that at most, within 10 minutes, you'll be able to calibrate all the 3 cameras.
Okay, and I think there's a final, or at least one more question. From Martin, how does it work? Does it work with every render engine?
Absolutely. So currently we have our own internal rendering engine inside AR3 that allows you to display all the free kick information, the offside information, and the ball speed. But if you want to use your own external engine, then it's just a matter of sending all the tracking data to your engine with one of the available tracking protocols, being it 3D or on AR3 protocol. And with that tracking data, then you are able to show your graphics in whatever rendering engine you might want to use it.
Great. So I think that's it for questions. Thank you very much, Pedro.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you.
And moving on. So moving forward to our next session, we will now be joined by our sports program manager, Antonio Paiva, who will explain why our single operator solution is a great option for a safer and effective live sports production. Still to come is a demonstration of Football Stats single operator solution, where we'll see in action everything Antonio will now be talking about. Once again, if you have any questions, just type them in wherever you're watching, and we'll answer your question after each session. Take a listen.
Hello, and welcome to On-Air Talks by wTVision. My name is Antonio Paiva, and I'm wTVision Sports Program Manager. This session will be dedicated to present you how simple and cost-effective solutions can be used to cover sports events with our single-operator solutions. We've seen along the years that live sports production regularly delivers some of the world's biggest TV audiences, engaging fans all over the world. The demand for live sports events coverage is always high, so broadcasters need to find the balance between broadcast and high-quality live sports content at a cost that makes commercial sense. This leads to major developments in the remote productions when companies like wTVision always seeking for cost-effective solutions that also reduce on-site personnel. This advantage is particularly timely given the social distancing rules imposed by COVID-19 pandemic. wTVision takes part in more than 7,000 broadcasts every year, covering a wide range of sports and locations around the world. Our unique combination of experience and flexibility allow us to accommodate any type of project and positively respond to our client needs. That's exactly the case when it comes to smaller productions, even with tighter budgets and productions with a very small crew on site. For those, we have flexible software and workflow that make it possible to control the engine operations with a single operator. He is responsible for guaranteeing the quality and efficiency of the graphics on site, making sure viewers at home always get the right information. So how does this work? Our single operation solution is an autonomous system that suggests the on-air graphics based on the statistics available so that the operator can focus his attention on the final output. Also, the internal logic engine for graphics transition allows the operator to just keep launching the graphics, and the system will know how to manage the on-air graphics at the exact moment. Let's start about some case studies that we already have. Well, the French Ligue 1 and Ligue 2 are two of the current leagues where only a single operator manages all the on-air graphics. To tell us a little bit more of this project, we have our head of production for France, Olivier Bosmans.
Hi, my name is Olivier, and I'm the responsible for the on-air graphics on the French Ligue 1, Ligue 2 football games for the new Telefoot channel. For these competitions, we are using wTVision latest football stats single operator application to control our R3 space engine. As the name suggests, it's an application controlled by one single operator who manages multiple outputs, which have different kind of graphics on each side that can be adapted to any kind of project. On the French League, for example, we decided to adapt the interface to the very strict rundown the operator has to follow, so we can easily do it using the buttons lined up in order to follow the rundown. We have several tabs for each part of the production, easily managed by a drag and drop function, if needed to change. In a clear view, the operator has a very good notion of all the graphical templates, the live statistics during the game, per player as well as for the team, and of course all the other tools needed to make a full football game production. Again, this is easily managed by one single operator. One of our main features here in France is our plugin, which allows us to connect to the external statistic provider of the league. That offers us a variety of live statistics throughout the game, which in turn can be shown on air by our graphics operator. In addition to the live statistics, the plugin also offers us a wide range of information about the competition, such as the standings, previous encounters of the teams formed in competition, current and next game day, lineups of the teams, and so on. All this saves the operator time in preparation of the game. On top of all these informations, our plugins are also importing tracking data from the games. This allows the operator to show personal player data as well as team tracking statistics during the game. Tracking data such as the amount of kilometers run per team, per player, number of sprints, player positions during the game, and much more. These statistics, together with all the other statistics, are lined up in the application in a very visible way, so the operator is quick to see and to show on air all the important data a football game needs. It's also important to mention that our application is used to provide graphics to multiple feeds at the same time by the same operator. This operator can choose to launch every graphic to show on each feed, or can choose to show a certain graphic only on a specific privative feed. This can also be configured beforehand. For the French League, we are using this feature to show more detailed statistics on the privative feed to give our client an even better experience on each game. We are also showing extra sponsors on this privative feed, which gives the client the ability to get more revenue without having to spend much more money on operators and systems. Thank you.
wTVision also manages all real-time graphics and data for the main football league in Belgium, guaranteeing the broadcast of all on-air graphics, including augmented reality. Also, in this case, we only have one operator on site implementing all the graphics information guaranteed through a solution that combines wTVision Football Stats CG and R3 Space Engine, our real-time 3D graphic engine. Data is integrated in a partnership with Stats Perform. Both in France and Belgium have the same solution based on Football Stats single operator edition that has been adapted to integrate with OptiFeeds from Stats Perform Group, instead of using the internal engine of data collection, since that Stats Perform Group is the official data provider for both scenarios. Our single operator solution is a great option not only for live football productions, but also for other sports coverage like basketball. wTVision and FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, have a long-term partnership with our teams, delivering the best graphics during basketball leagues around the world. AfroBasket, Europe Cup, FIBA 3x3 World Tour and Basketball Championship leagues are some of the competitions where wTVision integrates its software with its official design, the basketball venues protocols, and FIBA official data software providers, since the times from FIBA Europe Stats Suite to the actual FIBA Live Stats. wTVision powerful and flexible software make it possible to control the entire graphic package with a single operator that also assures the manual input of collected data in case of an extraordinary event that collapses all the systems in place. The graphics operator by wTVision includes the title sequence, bumpers, replay whites, stings, countdowns, the score clock, the starting five, and the match stats, among many others. To tell us more about the partnership, we have Omri El-Hassid, FIBA Live's Graphics Operation Manager. Welcome to the On-Air Talks by wTVision. Omri, may we start by introducing FIBA?
So, as you said, FIBA is the governing body of international basketball. We have all types of competitions, starting World Cup for men and women, Continental Cups for men and women, as you mentioned, Afrobasket. We also have Eurobasket, Asia Cup, and America Cup, both men and women. And then we have the Basketball Champions League, that is a joint venture of with FIBA, and as you mentioned, the little bit smaller competitions, and also the Women's EuroLeague. We are in FIBA Media in charge of some of those productions, and this is what we do around the world, yeah.
Okay, so as I was saying before, we've been working together to a wide range of high-profile basketball competitions, introducing high standard on the TV broadcasting and decreasing the quality and the experience from viewers worldwide. Can you explain how working with wTVision gives you the advantages?
Yes, so as you said, you're doing it both for basketball and for football, but it's very important to understand that the difference between the two sports in terms of graphics and TV production is very big. The thing that we are looking into in basketball, much more than in football, is to get a very high quality operator and interface for this operator, as you said, to show on screen both the clocks and the shot clock of the game, which are the most important thing for us because we're always looking for accuracy, and then integrate the statistics into the graphics and show it. Now, working with you, obviously, and what we're always looking for is to have operator that in one hand have the technical skills, but in the other hand has the basketball knowledge as well, because the operator has two things that he needs to do. He needs to be a technical guy, but he also a very big part, and in many cases he's the major and the biggest content person on site. Having a person with interface that can help him organize all the data, know what is the right thing to do, when to show it, what to show, combine it with the right shot. I think this is the main thing that we are looking for from our operators and from our partners.
Thanks to our flexible software and workflow, we can control the entire operation with just one operator. Can you please tell us how this single operator solution suits your needs? You already mentioned some of the advantages, but if you can elaborate a little bit more, it would be okay for us also.
So, as you mentioned, I think in the beginning of this On-Air talk, first of all, single operator is much more cost-effective and something that we are always look to be invested in. I think that the person on site need to have a very big knowledge on basketball, and I think that your system needs to support his knowledge and his ability to show whatever we want to see on air. Basketball, we always say, is a game of stories. There's one big story that tells us, okay, now the score is 80-80. But what were the small stories that caused this score to be right now? Is it a player that had a very good game? Is it a different player that had not as good as a player? And we are looking for a single operator. They have good communication with the director that knows exactly what's going on the court. He knows the teams, he knows the players, and he also have the ability to get the right decision. I think that having the interface that help him to get the right decision is very, very important, because usually TV productions are very, very, let's say, intense. You need to get quick decisions in very little time. And I think this is what we're looking from our providers and from our partners and from the operators on the field.
Exactly. And so software also can help on this, because we are always working on engines that allows, based on certain rules that can be configured, the software will help the operator if it gives him the information that are relevant at the moment. So, Omri, regarding this, my last comment, what do you think that it's possible to improve on these softwares that wTVision are using, so that we also can improve always our solution, because this is something that is always interesting also for us?
So I must say that I met your operators on the field in the past, and I was impressed from your interface and your operating system. I think that the operating system needs to be very, very flexible. What I mean is that whenever you go into live production, especially sports and especially basketball inside sports, is that you don't know how the game will go. You don't know what will happen. You don't know whose player is going to be good or bad. And I think that your operating system needs to be very, very flexible to reflect all options. If I want to show player stats, so there's the obvious stats that we always show, which is points and field goals or 3-point percentage. But then if we want to show also blocks or steals or turnovers or something that is additional data, if you want to have a special mixtures of stats to show, I think that the flexibility of your system is what make it good for us and useful for us, and obviously something that we can work on with the future, and we can trust your operators to use during the live productions.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. So, thanks you for your testimony and for joining us on this On-Air Talks by wTVision. It was very nice to see you again. Hope to see you soon, and we'll do all the best efforts so that this partnership keeps improving. And working with FIBA is always a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Antonio. It was a pleasure. Okay. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye, Omri. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Not only for football or basketball matches, our single operator solution is a great option over nearly 20 years of expertise. We've broadcast a lot of sports competition worldwide with a single operator on the site. I leave you now with some productions done by wTVision single operator solutions. We've seen examples how with just one operator on site, it's possible to provide an effective live sports production with high quality nevertheless. It's now clear how simple and cost-effective our single operator solution can be and how it's a great option for a safer and healthier production environment. Well, for more information about Football Stats Single Operator solution, join us for a demo in another session where the star will be the Football Stats Single Operator Edition. Thank you, and don't forget, it may be low-cost productions, but with high quality. Goodbye.
So I'm now joined by Antonio Paiva to answer all of your streaming questions. And we already have a question. It's from Tiago and says, how can this single operator solution be operated from the web? Can it be operated from the web? Sorry.
Well, all the development of the single operator edition is based on web. So you can use it on a tablet, for example, because it's a web environment. Mm-hmm. Then maybe if the question also is asking if you can produce graphics based on web. Well, no. At this moment, no, because all the graphic engine needed some broadcast hardware that is specific. Of course, that we have some cloud solutions that can be deployed in order to be controlled remotely and then produce some graphics based on cloud. But this is a workflow.
So I guess it's a little bit of a trick question in that the interface is browser-based, but you need broadcast equipment, be it on the venue or on the cloud. So I guess both answers, I guess, are true in a sense.
Exactly. So if you want to know more detail about this complex workflow that you need, maybe it's there to contact us directly in order that we can explain and work in deploy the best solution, because to produce the graphics, you can produce on cloud, for example, with NDI, but it's not a straightforward workflow. Then you are at the venue with a single operator producing graphics, let's say on-air graphics on a broadcast environment, on a production.
Yeah, interesting question. I have another question from Juan Sergio. Sergio, not sure how to your last name. So can the solution collect data or only integrate data from external sources? I'm just reading a little bit more than what's written.
Both, actually, both. It can integrate, also gathering data, because when you have one operator, you can have just this one operator that will insert the data, the main actions of the match, of any sport, and then this same operator will produce the on-air graphics. Mm-hmm. But also, since our solution is always based on a framework that is scalable, and then you can also have this official data provider, and then we just integrate the data, and the operator will only be concerned, and his work will be producing the on-air graphics based on the data that is being integrated.
So in a way, it's going to be a single operator solution for data scouting plus graphics, or if you have an official data provider, just graphics?
Just graphics, exactly.
Okay, so I guess both.
Like we've seen in the demonstration, for example, the French League is done with this scenario where we just receiving the data from the official data provider, and then the graphics operator will only produce the graphics.
Okay. Another question from Maria. Hi, Maria. Is it available for every sport?
Well, yes. Since it's based on this sports stats CG framework, we can develop any sport on top of this solution. But again, each sport has its own specifics. Some sports are more complex than others, so it's better to evaluate what type of actions or for each sport can only one operator scout it and producing graphics with it.
And of course, if the sport is too complicated, or if you're collecting official data, for example, like wTVision does for a bunch of leagues, then you would not use single operator edition.
No. If I need to go to a more complex workflow, then I recommend Football Stats CG that we'll see in another demo. But again, it's still concerning with this question, if you are integrating data from the official data provider, then it's more easy that you just have the on-air graphics operator, for example, basketball. Mm-hmm. Basketball is a very fast and complex game that with one operator to insert all the data, all the actions that are happening. Mm-hmm. But then if you integrate with the official product, the solution, the FIBA Live Stats, then with one operator, you can produce a lot of graphics, a lot of information that will bring added value to your broadcast. So it depends on each scenario that you need.
Of course. I think that's it for the questions. And so thank you very much, Tó.
Okay.
And I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Actually, I lost my teleprompter, but our next session is also from Antonio Paiva, I believe. And so we'll go ahead and start looking at that, and I'll give you a small outro after the show.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to On Air Talks by wTVision. Today we are going to talk about sports data and how important it is in a sports environment. But first, let me introduce you my colleagues and panel members. On my right, I have Antonio Paiva. Antonio Paiva is our sports program manager. Welcome, Antonio, and thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks.
And on my left is Tiago Madureira. Tiago Madureira is content and media director of Liga Portugal, one of the biggest leagues in the world. Thank you, Tiago.
Thanks for the invitation, Paul.
For the accept our invitation, and welcome. Well, let me first do a small introduction about sports data. Sports data in our vision, in wTVision's vision, is something really important for several environments. First of all, it's important to engage fans. It cuts the distance between the players and the viewers and the fans, and it's quite important to have good data, real-time data, to feed all these fans and all the environment along football. Then it's important for TV broadcast to explain what is going to happen in the game, to explain how it was the game, and to explain how it is the game in this moment. And besides all that, it's important to increase the level of analysis on a technical side. Means coaches, staff, to understand the team, to understand the competition, to understand what is happening in the game, and to lead to new practice, to new specialization, to analyze what is going to happen in football. So, saying that, today we invited Tiago from Liga Portugal because wTVision has his applications and the services doing official statistics for the Portuguese league for long years right now. So, it's the best person to explain how important it is to have official data provided in real time. So, Tiago, welcome once again. I would like to ask you briefly to explain the importance of sports data in your context, and also how it is the experience to work with wTVision on this field.
Well, Paulo, once again, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. As you mentioned, we worked together for several years, since almost a decade, and it's been quite successful partnership between wTVision and Liga Portugal. We're very, very happy with the level of service that you guys provide us and through the years, and we are always moving forward in innovating how data can be used in several areas. So I think it's consensual that the data importance, it's growing season after season, and it's growing in different perspectives and different areas. We are investing very, very much in our business intelligence area here in Liga Portugal, and specifically in analyzing data related to the performance. So that performance data, and specifically the official statistics that you guys collect and give to us, and now that we are already working together in analyzing and on trying to have some insights and some conclusions on what is important for different stakeholders from Liga here in different areas. So it's becoming very, very important for clubs from several years from now, analyzing data for coaches, for the teams. It's very important for media, for right holders, but also for traditional media. We are keeping investing in several tools for them to access data and access the theories and can build positive content around the data. We are since last year offering all our partners, all our media partners, a media kit report that is used as a pre-match report for preparation of each of the games of our competition. And then, also very, very important, it feeds us regarding building content, and specifically digital content for our platforms, in which we are investing very, very huge amount of resources, and the data that you guys collect us, give us, it's one of the main vectors in supporting us in building content for our social media platforms. So the importance of the data today is huge, and not only for Liga, but to all the ecosystem that goes around our competitions.
So it's basically something that works on 360 to all the agents, sports agents, football agents that are around you. Okay, thank you very much, Tiago. Antonio, let me ask you something. Being you sports program manager, to have all this data collected in real time and available in real time to be used in apps, in the TV broadcasts, what is the workflow? How it works? How it works, the applications and the workflow to be able to provide this service in a such important and quick way as Liga Portugal and the other agents, media agents, needs that data to go certified and quick, very quick. How it works?
Yeah. Well, in fact, we must separate this in three moments. First, the pre-match, where we delivered a lot of information, like predictors, statistical. There are previews from all the matches that were already played. Then we have the real time during the match, and then we have the post-match, where we can deliver some reports, some analysis tools. All of this is based on Sports Stats Center, because it's wTVision information system. And this system centralizes all the data related to managing a competition, from fixtures, results, player and team statistics. It's a real-time system due to the integration with our football stats. And football stats is the product that we use for live data gathering. Well, football stats, it's built on a solution that will send the data through the internet. So it can be placed and used and operated on the venue or on a centralized production center. And this allows that with this solution we can take all the information in real time, deliver it in real time, and then it's stored inside the central system, SportsStat Center, and accessing the API, all our partners can access the data. And this data can be used in match, for example, play-by-play push notifications. So it allows to have on your website, on your app, you can have a live commentary of all the actions that are taking place. And after the game, we have this process of certification of the data. And then all the data is stored and can be accessed by analysis tools, reports. We can provide information to match centers, to commentators, so supporting also not only the viewers or the official channels, but also journalists, commentators, and then of course clubs, also very important. Like you were mentioning earlier, we can provide information, statistical information to the clubs, together with all the video support of the moments of the matches, so it allows that a coach can analyze the moments and joining it with the statistic.
Okay, fair. So it seems like a complex workflow.
Yes.
But in the end, it works.
It works, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Talking about a little bit about the before the game, the pre-match. So is it fair to say, Thiago, that your biggest concern on the pre-match is to engage the media and to engage the fans about what is going to happen in the game, creating more interest and more buzz about the new round or the new game, and saying that the media kits that we provide, the reports that we provide, the analysis that we provide about what's happened in the past, to project what might happen in that game, is something that is really what you mean as more important to engage the fans, to give visibility to the sponsors. Is it fair to say that, Thiago?
Yeah, absolutely, Paulo. I think pre-match has a huge importance in engaging and preparing fans through to the matches and to the match week that comes around. Fans, in terms of building content that can launch each week and can launch and promote the games that we have. I forgot to mention that together you guys delivered this year a huge new platform, very important for us. That it's our query analyzer. It's a platform in which we can ask and retrieve information and some fun data that we can then use as a pre-match information. For media, it's also very, very important, the data that we provide them in terms of pre-match analysis, very, very important. As I said before, the media kits, that it's a report, a pre-match report that we build totally based on your data. Today, it's almost something that the journalists and the commentators and the media partners cannot live without. Honestly, we know that it's true, because sometimes we have a small error in something and all of them report them to us. So it's something that they follow, and it's very, very important. But also for clubs, the information, it's very important for clubs on a competition overview perspective. And we also share with them a pre-game report that they can use, especially for the communication and for their media areas, for preparing press conferences, for launching the game. So it's also very important for them. So I think the data, as Antonio was saying, it's very important, these 3 moments: pre-match, live during the match, and also post-match of the weekend.
Thank you very much, Thiago. You mentioned Query Analyzer. I think it's important for the audience to know that Query Analyzer is a tool that works over our Sports Stat Center. Exactly. And seeks interesting information and allows to do researches that are not obvious. So trying to give the data, not the boring aspect of it, but also different analysis that allow to bring different content and to feed all the platforms and all the media with content that is not easy to access.
As for example, comparing players, two players, or comparing the performance of a player on a team, and then he moves to another team, and you can compare both performance of that player on different teams, or even coaches, or compare the performance of one team against certain opponents, against another team with the same opponents. So you have this picture, this big picture, about all the recent form of the teams and the players.
To understand the performance, comparing to the contest, in the time of the game, and all of that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, the part of the in-game data, it seems to me obvious that for you, League, the importance is that the data comes quick and comes right. Because all the fans, all the media are on the top of that data, looking at the information that they need to be informed and to be entertained even. So, Antonio, how can we assure that the data, besides the quick part that you already explained, is accurate?
Okay, first of all starts with football stats at the venue or a centralized production system center. Well, we have these operators that are inserting the live actions as soon as they happen, and then we have this central operator that is making sure that all the events are inserted correctly, because he is also watching the game on the live feed, video live feed that we have. And so even if there is some type of action that was not completed, then because it's not completed on real time, then our operator, our central operator, will guarantee that that data is always accurate.
Okay, excellent. Well, mistakes happen, so
Exactly.
what you have is a way to certify the near real time,
Exactly.
and to assure that what is going to be reported to the platforms and to the media, your API is already covered.
It happens sometimes because, well, a yellow card was shown on the middle of a confusion of players, and so the yellow card was not shown, or was not, inserted for the correct player. This happens in several environments. And then our central operator can intervene and change the player to the correct player. This happens during the match and also after the match, because even sometimes after the match we have the referee report where we see that the official data is the one that counts. So
Sure.
we change it accordingly to the referee report.
Sure. Well, then we have after the game.
Yes.
And after the game, of course, we produce match reports, we produce game day reports, and so on. Tiago, now let's focus on the post-game. In my perspective and wTVision's perspective about what is important on the post-game, I would say that there are two big issues that we need to address. One is to provide quality reports to the media and to the fans. And when I said quality reports, is not only to give the game facts, but to look at the data in an interesting way to produce content that can be used by the media. So we provide to that, we provide a sports specialist that is seeking about information, curiosities, things that are not so clear in viewers' mind, to produce that data. So my first question is that important for you? Is that the core? And the second question is about the material that we provide to the coaches, to the technical staff, which includes video and data, and allows to have a specific analysis that is not so interesting for the common viewer or the fan, but it's much more on the technical perspective to improve the quality of the team. Is that fair to say that those are the two most important issues that you want to address on a post-game?
Yeah, absolutely. I've started by saying this. I think the main challenge that we face is how to treat data and how to deliver that data specific to the group of the different groups that we are dealing, being coaches and scouting areas of the clubs, media, fans. So each one of them wants to get access to data and wants to get some key indicators specifically for their use. So it's the challenge that we face. Allow me, Paulo, please, to go a little bit back and to say that you also have, and Antonio already mentioned it, you have a huge importance by feeding all of our digital platforms. So our website, our official app,
Agora. So we're back with Antonio Paiva. Welcome back. And so we have some questions from our audience. David Olim asks, can an augmented reality second screen B2C app deliver data that data and videos in real time for its own clients. So a augmented reality app on a phone, I guess that means they're at the stadium pointing their phone at the pitch.
Yeah, there are some systems that are doing that based on the camera tracking of the phone. Well, but our area is more focused on camera tracking, on vision camera tracking. So yes, it's possible, but it's not our business core.
It's not our goal. So we work with broadcast cameras for the viewer at home, not so much the viewer at the venue. Okay.
Exactly. But it's possible to do it, yeah.
Okay, and Rosanna asks, how can clubs take advantage of all this data gathering tools?
Well, typically, the clubs take advantage in order to improve the performance of their players when analyzing all the data that are provided by all of these data gathering tools, also connecting the main actions to the video clips that are produced, synchronized with the moments. For example, you want to see how your team works when there's a corner, a defensive or an offensive corner. What are the movements? How can you defend better on a defensive corner? So analyzing these clips that are synchronized with the actions, you can have all your corners throughout all the season in order to analyze it and then work specific that moment of the match.
And I guess player tracking tools help in this respect as well, so where players are running and where they're at.
Exactly. Specifically when you have this information from the match and from the training ground, also preventing injuries is a very important tool because it allows you to analyze if your player is at reaching a state where he can potentially have an injury. So it's also important in this scenario.
Because you're getting top speeds, average speeds, player positioning at all times, and that's part of the kind of tracking solution. Okay.
Yeah, exactly so.
All right, let's see. So Thomas asks, more people operating means better statistics. That's, I think, a good question.
Yeah, good question, actually. Well, better statistics, yes. More in-depth statistics. So if you have just one operator, this operator will probably manage to insert all the main actions, the hot actions of a match. But if you have a second operator, it can produce more qualifiers, more attributes to each action that will allow you to have a more in-depth analysis of the match, producing also better graphics. But again, speaking about the question earlier, more information to the clubs in order to have a more detailed information for each action.
So it's not that the statistics is wrong, is that you get less of it with a single operator.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, good. Rosanna, I think, second question from Rosanna. Do you think this tool can be used in the future by referees?
Well, this tool that we have, Football Strategy, working together with Sports Stats Center, is already providing some information about the way that the referees are behaving on the pitch. For example, the distance between the referee and the foul that was committed. How long did it take for the match again when a foul was delivered? How long it took to start the match after a yellow card? How long was the match stopped due to the yellow cards?
I guess it's a different dimension than the question by Rosanna, which is the actual referees are being evaluated more than it being a tool for the referees, which I guess it's also possible that they can check all of the statistics and watch all of the clips of video assigned to each specific statistic.
Exactly. So if you want to improve the useful time of a match, you have to understand why is there so much time stoppage of time of the match. Why? Is it because the yellow cards took 2 minutes to be resolved? Was it? I mean, everything must be analyzed in order to give some information to the referee where he can improve his performance, not a technical one, but more a disciplinary one maybe? Was it really far away of all the events? You know, it can improve the performance of the referee. So we are working in this project together with the Portuguese Federation, the Football Portuguese Federation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
So let's move on. And actually, don't leave your seat and stay with us as Antonio Paiva guides us through a demonstration of Football Stats CG, which we've been talking about, wTVision's premium data scouting and on-air graphics solution for live football coverage. As you will see in a few minutes, Football Stats CG is part of a workflow for the sports statistics, and also includes components like SportsStats Center, Match Center, a commentator tool, and a query analyzer. And so if you have any questions during the demonstration, just post them on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or wherever you're watching our session, and we'll gladly reply to your questions after this. Let's watch.
Hello, my name is Antonio Paiva and I'm wTVision Sports Program Manager. This session will be dedicated to present our solutions for football broadcast productions. Football Stats CG is wTVision software dedicated to football events, managing, gathering, comparing data and bringing all that information into several outputs. Typically, real-time on air graphics, but also thanks to the integration with SportsStats Center, we can produce data outputs to websites, analysis tools, match centers, reports, among others. Football Stats CG also integrates a wide range of third-party technologies to improve the broadcast with the purpose of enriching the viewer's experience. Football Stats CG can be divided into two solutions. A more complete one with 3 operators in total, where 2 of these operators, S1 and S2, are dedicated to collect a wide range of information on a match, with higher detail for each action, and the third operator to produce the on-air graphics. Talking about S1 and S2 operators in more detail, S1 operator is responsible for collecting the most essential data at the first level of detail. This allows absolute statistical values to be available in real time for the on-air graphics operator. Working on a more detailed layer for each action, we have an S2 operator that validates the S1 operation, completing all qualifiers on a second level of information, like, for example, location of the action. S2 operator also works in a video input delayed environment, so auto-seeking video moments based on the action selection. This means that the application jumps automatically to the video moments of the actions, allowing a way to complete the action qualifiers in the most fastest way. Also, the video inside S2 operator interface pauses automatically in all the incomplete actions, resuming automatically upon the completion of the action. In alternative, Football Stats Single Operator Edition is a more cost-effective solution, where a single operator is possible to gather all the main actions in a football match and produce the on-air graphics. Let's see how Football Stats CG and Football Stats Single Operator Edition works, starting by Football Stats CG. Let's start with our team traveling to the venue and preparing all that is needed to cover a football match production with Football Stats CG. From setting up our system and connecting to all third-party systems that integrate with our system. We've organized this demo in order to display the 4 features that we want to promote. The first window is S1 operator that, like I've mentioned before, is going to insert all the main actions. Next, on the top right, we have the S2 operator that will complete all actions inserted by the S1 operator, allowing a second level of detail and a quality control check. As you can see, both S1 and S2 interfaces are similar, but the main difference is that S1 operator input video is running in a continuous way, and S2 operator can control the video working on a delayed video feed. On the bottom left, we have the graphics operator that is responsible for producing the on-air graphics based on a friendly user interface that contains all match statistics, easy selection of plays in order to provide individual graphics, and a personalized environment with all the on-air graphics organized by intuitive sections. On the bottom right, we can see the graphics output. Now, let's see how our graphics operator prepares a pre-match environment. For example, working on creating an official formation. As you can see, the operator just needs to place the players on the widget that contains a football pitch, and then the graphic engine will use these relative coordinates in order to reproduce it on a graphic output. The operator can also drag the players to produce exact adjustments into the formation. Following the rundown defined by the production, let's start with the match presentation. And then moving on to the tactical lineups. Very important to mention that these graphics are augmented reality, but it's exactly the same application and the same operator for the non-augmented reality graphics. Getting back to the 4-window screen, and with all operators standing by, let me demonstrate what happens with the kickoff. A really key moment, since it marks the endpoint of the main video synchronized with the kickoff and also the main clock for all actions and user interfaces. S1 operator in this moment is the key operation, because it's responsible for inserting the main actions in real time. So, as it was possible to see, some actions happened at the same time. The S1 operator started the clock, and this marks the first action of the match synchronized with the video, and all football.cg clocks started at the same time. The graphics operator inserted the permanent clock on air, and now the S2 operator already has the input video based on the internal capture and not on a live input, allowing him to control the video seek. S1 operator is now inserting the first main actions that the match is producing, and controlling the ball possession is one of the main actions. S2 operator already standing by in order to complete all the actions inserted. Now, we already had the fold committed, and the S1 operator inserted the main action with the player that committed the fold and also the player that suffered that fold, allowing the graphics operator to insert the graphic with the folds team comparison, while S2 operator will travel to the video moment in delay to complete the action with more qualifiers, like, for example, location and fold type. S1 operation in more detail. All actions available are in a very easy way to select and edit if needed. Live video input allowing to monitorize the match on the same screen. Main actions available in buttons allowing the action insertion synchronized with the video and players available, and organized in a tactical formation to make it easy to identify them. S2 operation in more detail. Video stops automatically on an incomplete action. All players available in an easy way to identify. A pitch widget allows to define the location where the event occurred with the X and Y coordinates. Video resumes automatically when all action qualifiers are inserted. Automatically video seek open the action selection. On-air graphics operation made easy. Players organized in a list allowing a really fast selection. Central section with statistical values available for a fast analysis of the operator in order to produce valuable content. Graphic buttons organized in groups and with visual references for a fast and intuitive selection. Now, let's check a goal moment. As you can see, the player scores the goal, and S1 operator will insert on the fly the main action with the player selected. Automatically, the permanent clock is updated without the need of any other operation. The graphic operator is now focused on insert some information about the player that scored the goal. In this case, total goals in the season, counting this one already. The integration with Sportsat Center or other data providers allow us to use season statistics during the match. Meanwhile, the S2 operator will insert some qualifiers to the action, like location where the ball entering the goal, location on the pitch where the attempt was made, body part used to score the goal, among others. Match restarted, and S1 with a live moment inserting all main actions, S2 working on delayed video, completing all actions with the second level qualifiers. The on-air graphics operator evaluating relevant statistics and inserting it on air. Football.cg also contains our IntelliStats engine that can suggest relevant data based on configurable rules, like in this case, where the system detected that the away team had no foul committed in the last 15 minutes. Now, a set-piece action, a free kick. The same graphic operator can decide to insert the graphic on a lower third or on the permanent clock, because the graphics are organized in specific sessions for specific output regions. Now, focusing again on the graphics operator environment to enforce that the same operator can use the same solution to generate regular on-air graphics and also augmented reality graphics. For example, an augmented reality graphic showing values of ball possession, but also showing the possession heat map on the top of the field in order to present a visual information where ball possession was retained. Home team first, and then compared with the away team. The same principle is used to generate several augmented reality graphics like teams and players comparison, allowing the graphic operator to select which statistics need to be analyzed. All statistics can be selected on the available list in a dynamic way, in this case attacks, attempts, and big chances to score. Moving forward, let me show what we can do with the actions location information gathered, for example, on all the attempts made. Total attempts, attempts on targets, attempts on target, and of course, goals. With the video input of the goals scored. This is the first goal, and now the second goal. Another example, man of the match. Football Strategy will automatically select the most important values, statistic values for the selected man of the match in order to present the key factors that led to that election. In this case, distance covered, goals, attacks, and suffered fouls, also with the video input of his best moments. Now, let's see some outputs produced by Football Strategy integration with SportStat Center. Commentator is a tool that allows commentators to follow the match, having access to key statistics comparing both teams' performance, but also individual performance, attempts location, inside and outside the box, attacking zones and crosses location, ranking of players inside the match, the top 3 players with most attacks, attempts on target, full committed, among others. Match Center. Integrate our Match Center into your website, enabling your solution with real-time information about the running matches. Access the hot matches based on the actual day or travel into a selected game day. Enter inside the match to access more detailed information about the selected match. Compare both teams' performance. Compare 2 specific players' performance by player's position. Check out all the match actions and the live commentary feeds. Find out the most important players in the match, consulting the individual rankings. Also, Football Stats integration with SportStat Center allows you to provide information to several competitions. Personalize your Match Center to all competitions that you want to cover. SportStats Analyzer is another tool provided by the integration between Football Strategy and SportStats Center. It's an analytical tool that allows commentators, journalists, coaches, and analysts, among others, to inspect in more detail all relevant information regarding a competition. Total statistics values of the competition, teams, players, coach, records and rankings. Compare players' performance in a competition, applying filters for more specific analysis. For example, comparing 2 players' performance in only away matches or against a specific opponent. Compare 2 teams' performance in the full competition, or again, applying filters for more specific analysis. Check a specific team performance with a comprehensive insights of all statistics gathered by Football Strategy and integrated with SportStat Center. Football Stats CG integration with Sports Stats Center also allows to access the competition data using our Sports Stats Center API. In this case, the official website of the Portuguese League accesses our Sports Stats Center API in order to populate all contents that are related to the competition data, from team performance data comparison to all the actions linked to the correspondent video. Just click on the action desired and watch the video linked to that action. Next, we have our Football Stats Single Operator Edition, a more cost-effective solution. Football Stats Single Operator Edition is organized in an intuitive user interface divided by sections related to the moment where the match is. First, we have a pre-match separator, where the user finds all relevant tools in a pre-match environment: match presentation, referees, team lineups, among others. Then we have the match separator. This is where the action must happen during the match, entering all the player actions and producing on-air graphics output based on these actions. Start the clock, selecting players, inserting actions are the main key operations during the live match. Check players that are playing at the moment, players on the bench, confirm main events like goals, cards, and substitutions are inserted into the system. Event separator. This is where the operator can check full details of all the actions inserted. Penalty separator is an intuitive tool to insert the penalty outcome for each attempt, if the match needs to be decided on the penalty shootout. Just select the player and the penalty outcome for each attempt. Summary separator is where the operator can configure all graphics that are typically used for half and full-time analysis. And Studio CG separator is where our Football Stats Single Operator Edition integrates with our Studio CG product, enabling all the advantages of having a character generator solution to fulfill all your needs. Now let's go to the demo of how the product works, starting with some pre-match operations like match presentation and team lineups. All graphics available in a very intuitive and organized way, helping the operator to follow a specific rundown. In this case, match presentation, inserting home team lineup and formation, and next away team lineup and formation. As you can see, all buttons are displayed in a rundown order in order to help the operator following the desired rundown. After the pre-match rundown, it's time to start the match. The operator can find inside the match separator all tools that will allow him to start the match in a very easy way when the kickoff is given. Let me demonstrate what happens with the kickoff. The first actions are starting the clock and inserting the permanent clock on air. From this moment, all actions are synchronized with the video input, allowing to create video clips for specific moments of the match based on the actions. Now the operator will follow the match entering all actions, like for example controlling ball possession. Now we have a foul committed, and the operator will select the player that committed the foul and also the player that suffered that foul. The application is guiding the user, asking the details of the selected action. Like, for example, the application will wait for the in-play action in order to automatically start the ball possession for the correct team. Once that is done, the operator continues to follow the game in order to insert the actions or just change the ball possession when the ball possession is clearly defined. Again, another foul is committed, and the operator will insert that action, and the ball possession clock will change automatically to the stopped state. Another advantage of Football Stats Single Operator Edition is the continuous monitoring engine that evaluates the actions inserted in order to suggest graphics based on the actions that the operation is doing. Like, for example, selecting a player, and the system suggests all graphics that can be inserted with individual player card information. Let's see in more detail the Single Operator Edition interface. As it's possible to see, the interface is really user-friendly and suggests graphics based on the action entered. Also, this interface was designed to work in a touch device for a more flexible operation. Now let's see how easy it is to the operator to insert actions and generate graphics output. Inserting a goal, the application will suggest a graphic player card with goals, the operation confirms the graphic, and the graphic is on air. For another example, the operator will select team comparison attacks, and with one click, the graphic is on air. For the next example, the operator selects ball possession team comparison, and again, with one click, the graphic is on air. As a conclusion, for sure that Football Stats CG and Football Stats Single Operator Edition will bring you an added value to your production, since it's a scalable solution giving you several scenarios according to your needs. Hope that you've enjoyed it, and for more information, please feel free to visit us on our website or contact us directly. Goodbye, and don't forget, the name of the game is Football Stats.
And we're back for our live stream Q&A with Antonio Paiva. A nice demo. And we do already have some questions from our audience, and there's a question from Pedro. How many operators will I need to collect sports data with this solution? So I guess you showed a couple of solutions, so how many operators?
Well, we've shown two solutions, Football Stats Single Operator Edition and then Football Stats. Let's start with Football Stats Single Operator Edition. Mm-hmm. In this case, one. So you have one machine, one solution, one graphic engine, one software, depending on the sport, of course, in this case, football. And the same operator will insert data and also produce the on-air graphics. So one operator is enough. Mm-hmm. Then we have Football Stats CG. Well, Football Stats CG is a more scalable solution because, well, if you want to have data with more detailed information, then just for the data, you'll need two operators. The S1 operator, in charge of inserting all the main actions of the match, mm-hmm. and then the S2 operator that can introduce some more detailed information for each action. And then the third operator that will produce the on-air graphics. But let's suppose that you just need the hot actions of a match and not with a lot of detail for each action. But some of the actions, you want some detail. For example, a goal, where the location of the attempt was made. So you have just one operator for the data, the S1 operator, that can insert the hot actions, the main actions, but also, since the goal is a moment where the game stops, it can insert some more information about the hot action goal. And then the on-air graphics operator will take that information and create more valuable graphics because it can add this location information to the events.
So I guess the answer is 1, 2, and 3?
Exactly, 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's very scalable, actually.
All right, another question from Francois. Can I launch augmented reality graphics through Football Stats? Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yes, you can. So Football Stats CG uses this layout interface where the same operator is responsible for inserting the, let's say, the regular online graphics and then the augmented reality graphics. Because it can be connected to two engines, for example. One is producing the augmented reality graphics, but the same operator, the same application is being used to produce these augmented reality graphics.
So I guess you would be mixing football stats with AR3 football for the tracking information.
Exactly. So all the tracking information from the camera is being provided by the AR3, and then the football stats will have the data, and together the output will be augmented reality with data from football stats.
And so what about if I add a player tracking information? So I can also have some graphics related to that?
Yes, of course you can. So you can have all for example, the ball possession. It's based on tracking information, where the ball possession was retained, and so with this information can produce heat map for a player, heat map for a team, and everything on augmented reality. You have some examples of that on the demo, where you can see where the ball possession was retained. So if your team had 60% of ball possession, it's a value, but if you see a visual image on the pitch where the ball possession was retained, you can say like, okay, 60% of the ball, but most of the time it was on their defense. So it's a ball possession that doesn't bring danger to the other team. So it brings this visual information that helps you to analyze the match as a viewer or as a technician, whatever.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, welcome.
Well, today's sessions are coming to an end, but we still have time for one more demo. You will learn how our touchscreen solutions can improve your audience's experience and boost the interactivity of your sports broadcasts. It is worth mentioning that our touchscreen solutions are adaptable to your requirements and can be used in sports analysis, sports media, election coverage, or any live show. All the questions you post on social media will be answered afterwards. Take a listen.
Hello and welcome to On-Air Talks by wTVision. My name is Antonio Paiva and I am wTVision Sports Program Manager. This session will be dedicated to present you all our touchscreen solution designed for broadcasts. First, let me start by saying that wTVision touchscreen can integrate with wTVision's complete PCR workflow or work as a standalone system. It's a highly intuitive and interactive touchscreen that simplifies the analysis of football matches for sports broadcasters. The show presenters can call touchscreen graphics with valuable information for analysis of several leagues. Our solution integrates with stats perform data, providing information that will bring added value to the studio-based analysis before, during, and after the matches. Also, the solution is possible to be located at the venue where the match is held, allowing a more valuable live production. This touchscreen is running on top of this engine, providing powerful illustration and extensive analytical tools. It can also integrate with social media and let the audience become part of the show. wTVision touchscreen also provides a telestrator tool that allows the users to create graphic elements on top of video in order to highlight the most important moments of the match. Let me start to begin a brief demonstration of the tools that our touchscreen can offer. So first, let's start for selecting a league. So as you can see, the system loaded the main menu, and now on the main menu, what I have is matches. All the relevant matches of the selected competition according to the present day will be inside this tool. Rankings. With this tool, it's possible to access the most relevant rankings like top scorers, most assists, among others. Standings. Check out the overall standings, but also the recent form standings for the selected competition. Live. Change the environment of the touchscreen to a live input. Illustrator. Create some highlights on top of specific moments of match clips with graphic design tools, allowing also the integration with external video servers like EVS or external illustration tools like Piero. And also Twitter. Twitter allows you to interact with your audience, bringing their opinions and questions to your live broadcast. At this moment, Twitter is not enabled because since it's not a live show, we don't have any tweets, and so it's warning the user that it's still not possible to access to these tools. Now, let's start by entering matches. So I have all the games that are selected by the system that are most important at this moment. So I can make travel on the system. I can expand a game so I can see, for example, the scorers. If I expand one game, all the others will be collapsed. And now inside the game, I have 3 tools that I can use to analyze this specific match. So I have stats, for example. I have the analyzing tools, and I have the official formation. So all of these tools will allow me to analyze in detail the match. Since from, let me see the stats, absolute values comparing both teams. Let me see the absolute values of stats for a specific player compared to players. And then I can also analyze the official formation that the coach has chosen, or analyze with more analytical tools that we'll see individually once I enter in the match. So to enter in the specific match, I will start with stats. So as you can see, I have the overall statistics comparing both teams of this match. And you can see at the first glance it was a very balanced game, because same value of ball possession, same number of total shots. And now I can also see the statistics of a specific player. So I'll choose, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo, and my choice is confirmed. And now I have the the stats for Cristiano Ronaldo. But also I can compare 2 players. Again, I will choose, for example, a player from France, like Mbappé, and again a player from Portugal, like, for example, again, Cristiano Ronaldo. And now I can compare both players. As you can see, really intuitive and interactive system. And now I have the statistics for both players, and I can analyze the performance of each player against each other. Now, let's move to formation. On this tool, I can check the official formations for both teams. How did they start the match? I can see also the bench players, changing pages. I can, in fact, also show just one team, allowing me more to work with specific and more detail of a team, changing, for example, the position of the players. I can also change players from positions. For example, I select these 2, and they will swap position, okay? And also, I can, for example, swap a player from the official formation with the bench. As you can see, let me put it back again. And let's get back to 2 teams on the field. Now, let's start with our analyzing tools. Let's start with action areas. Let's start with action areas. So in this graphic here, I can analyze where the action took place. As you can see, more on the midfield. So it justifies the attacking, the balanced match that occurred. Also, I can check where the teams have chosen to produce their attacks, the attacking zones, wings, left, right, center. Next tool, I have the heat maps. So let's see where the players of the teams were located. As you can see, in fact, more in the middle of the field, but also I have heat maps for individual players. Let's select a player, for example, from France. Let's see Pogba. And here you go. You have the heat map for a player. Now let's check another tool, average positions. So average position, I can compare where the players spend most of the time playing their actions. So as you can see, in fact, the midfield was always very compact and with a lot of density players. I can also see shot plot. With shot plot, I can see the origin and the destination of the shots. Again, I can, bookmark no, I can, for example, see the passes of a player. Let me select a player, like, again, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo. And with this graphic, I can have a notion where did Ronaldo made its passes, if they were complete, they were incomplete, and if there was any key pass. And I can use and I can apply some filters. For example, I just want to see the complete passes. Here you go. Now I just want to analyze the incomplete passes, only 3. And now I see that Ronaldo also made a key pass, only 1. So next, I can use player touches. And with player touches, I can select a player again, from France, for example, again Pogba, and I can see all the touches that Pogba made on the ball. So as you can see, we can see the influence that this player had on the game. And also I can see the difference between first half and second half. Okay? Get back to the total. Now, let's get back to matches. I have this up function that will take me to the board where I was. I will change my rounds in order to see not the games that already played, but some games that are scheduled, so the 4th round. Let me, for example, check Portugal against Sweden. So I have 4 tools here that will allow me to check some pre-match data information relating to this selected match. So recent form, I will check the last 5 matches outcome for the both teams on the selected competition. Then I have head-to-head. Let's check the confrontations between these 2 teams on the selected competition. Predictive formation allows to create a predictive formation so that the commentators can analyze the possible formation that both teams will use, and so then compare it with the official formation. And also season stats. Let's check how the overall statistics for both teams on the chosen competition is at the moment. So let's enter in a match, for example. Let's start with recent form. As you can see, Portugal versus Sweden, recent form, win-win, draw, lose, lose, lose. So this will give us information regarding how is the team probably even in a mental state when they have, this team comes from 3 losses. Next, I can change for the head-to-head. And the head-to-head, since there are only 1 match between Portugal and Sweden on this competition, 1 victory to Portugal, 0 draws, and 0 wins to Sweden. And then let's see the season stats. So this way I can compare the performance of the teams until now using the tournament statistics. But also I can check again players. So let's, for example, see how Cristiano Ronaldo is doing so far on this competition. And also I can use the same function comparing to players. And a player from Sweden, for example, let's compare 2 strikers. Let's compare with Berg. So I have this information here, and I can compare both scenarios for the both players. Now, let's go to the predictive formation. Okay, with this I can create my own formation. I'm going to show you how I can clear predictive formation that was already in the system, and now I can start by picking players and place them on the pitch. I'll choose this goalkeeper. Now I will choose 4 defenders. I have my 4 defenders selected, and now I can place it by the order that I've selected, and the players will be on the pitch. And again, let's select midfielders. Let's select only 3 midfielders. And again, by the order that I select them, they're on the pitch. And now let's do the forwards. And I have the team. I can also change here the players. I can also change the color of the team, for example, for orange. And now I have to save my predicted formation in order to stay on the system. And this will help me to do this. If I want to analyze something like movements of players, and I want to get back to what I used to see on my predicted formation, I just have to load. And there it is, the one that I've created originally. Okay? So regarding to matches, played matches, scheduled matches, this is all that we have. Now let's return to the main menu and talk about the other tools. Rankings. Let's start and see team rankings. So top goals scored, I can change to individual one. Players, I can expand also and see the top 20 of all the players, top scorers. Okay? Now, again, main menu. And let's enter standings. Standings. I have group 1. I can change the group here. See another group. And also, I can see standings based on the recent form. It's the same then, because it's still very few games played, so it's normal. This is correct. It's the same than the let's say, regular standings. Now, live. Live allows us to change to an environment, live environment of my studio. So I can interact with the journalists that are at the stadium, at the venue, and I can show the live action here. So let's get back to the main menu. And then Telestrator tool. So this is the Telestration tool where I can control. This is an internal clip video. You can work with internal clip video, or like I've mentioned before, integration with other video servers, external video servers, like, for example, EVS. So let me start the video so I can control the moment I want to see. For example, here, I can pause it. So I can select a curved arrow in order to see possible movements of a player. I can use a curved line without arrow. Also a line. I can draw an arrow to see or to check or to show possible movements again on a straight forward movement. I can use a circle to highlight a player, for example. I can also use a square where I can highlight some areas, okay? And also, let me clear all of these tools, because I can also use a magnifier to highlight some specific moment or action that I want to highlight. Let me go to main menu again. And now let me see how easy it is to change the competition. So I will change for La Liga Santander, for example. And now if I enter the matches, now I'll see the matches for another competition. And I can also consult the same tools for the scheduled matches. But also I can change my game day in order to see a match that was already played. So let's go again inside the analysis tools for this match on another competition. And let's see, for example, players' game stats on this menu over here. Let's select a player from Valencia, Gameiro, for example. And I have the stats for Gameiro. Or I can also see the player stats or the player pass map for another player. Gaia, for example. And also now, one tool that is really good in order to create your rundown is using the bookmark. So I can create a bookmark here that will take me directly to this page when I need it. I will show you how in a second. Let me get back to the main menu again. And now I can see the rankings of the selected competition. It's another competition, okay? Team, individual. I can check the standings for this competition. Again, the predictive the recent form standings. And now, as I was saying, I can use the bookmarks in order to travel to the page that are already saved on these bookmarks, and I go directly to this page that I have saved. So this allows you to create and to use the bookmarks to create all your rundown and just, if you need it, travel on the bookmarks. So I hope that with this demonstration is clear for you all the advantages of bringing a touch system into your sports productions. Just to finalize, let me remind you that all of this demo was based in that integration with Stats Perform feeds powered by Opta and also powered by Viz engine. But since it is built on framework layers, it's possible to adapt this solution to another data provider or to another graphic engine, like, for example, wTVision's R3 Space Engine. Thanks, and don't forget, if you want to analyze, just keep touching. Goodbye.
And we're back for our live stream Q&A with Antonio Paiva. A great demo, by the way.
Thanks.
And so we have a question from Giovanni, who asks, can we adapt the graphics look and feel based on the competition we are analyzing?
Yes, it's possible to do that. For a specific line that we have, for example, beIN Sports, that is done. So they have 3 graphic look and feel, one generic, the beIN Sports generic look and feel. It's used for several competitions, and then they have this specific one for the Premier League, and another one for the Champions League. So when you have a specific dedicated studio show for just one competition and you want to work with a specific look and feel, you can do that. And when you select the league, if you have a specific look and feel for that league, the system will adapt automatically and it will change completely the environment of your touch solution.
And that happens in real time as you select a different league. It changes the look and feel in real time?
Yeah, it changes the look and feel in real time.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Melissa asks, can we have more rankings? I guess from the ones in the demo.
Yeah, there are those on the demo because that's the ones that the client, the beIN Sports, wanted. And all of this demo is based on that solution. But yes, if it's available on your data provider, then we can use it and integrate it with the system without any problem. It's just lists, so you can have 5, 10, 12, as many as your data provider has.
Okay. One more question from Philip. Do I have to import data from Stats, or can I import from any source, which I'm assuming means any other data provider?
Yeah, well, Philip was paying attention to the demo because I've mentioned that this integration is done with Stats Perform Group using the Opta feeds. But in fact, it can be used with information from another data provider because the data integration is done on a layered section of our solution. Then it can be adapted to integrate with other data provider. Of course, it has this small integration implementation, but it's possible to do that, of course.
Okay. Well, Paiva, thank you very much for all of this great day of sports solutions. And that is it for today, but we will be back tomorrow at the same time with a round of sessions dedicated to PCR and live productions. You'll discover how better to engage your audience and how to transform your live production workflow. If you still haven't registered for tomorrow, go to our website, book your seat, and gain access to exclusive content. All the sessions you've seen today will be available on our YouTube channel and also on our website. And if you want to keep being informed about projects and all our news, subscribe to our newsletter. Thank you for joining us and see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.